Ever get that feeling like you need to just download all the big ideas behind some massive field instantly, like right into your brain?
Like a knowledge injection straight to the cortex.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, good news. Today we are kind of doing just that. We are taking a deep dive into all the philosophical roots of AI, and get this, they go way back.
It's true. And maybe a little surprising, we're going to really explore how all that philosophical thinking has shaped the very foundations of AI. And, well, you might be a bit shocked to find out just how interlinked these two fields really are. Deeply.
Really deeply. And for this deep dive, we are using a really thoughtful collection of materials from one of you listeners out there. And yeah, thanks for those, by the way. Seriously, great stuff. We really want to give you that aha moment, that clear understanding, without getting lost in the weeds.
Yeah, no one wants that.
So the mission here is to uncover all those unexpected and really kind of lasting connections between philosophy and AI, giving you those insights that go beyond just the tech headlines and right into the core of what intelligence even means.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, this idea that AI is, it's not just a modern invention. It's not like it all started in some computer lab. It goes way back. What's the story there?
Okay, so the field of AI, we think about it like defining it by this drive to make intelligent things, like artifacts, right?
Right.
That ambition. It predates that 1956 Dartmouth conference when the field was officially kind of born.
Oh, I see.
So think about Alan Turing, the Turing test. His big 1950 paper for the journal Mind.
Oh, yeah, of course, the Turing test. Okay, so he wasn't just trying to give us a way to evaluate whether machines were intelligent, right?
Well, he was, but there's more to it. There was a deeper philosophical point he was
Okay,
making.
what was it?
He was like, he was tackling this super old question. Can machines think? But instead of just like arguing about it in the abstract, he said, okay, let's make it practical. If we can build a machine that can talk and interact in a way that's indistinguishable from a human,
So if we can't tell the difference.
right, then we should probably consider it intelligent, at least functionally. He argued for a behavioral test for intelligence. So really from day one, a core philosophical inquiry was like driving that very definition and the whole pursuit of AI.
Wow. So even before AI was an official field, philosophers were like wrestling with these core questions about thinking machines.
Totally. They were on it.
It wasn't just engineers suddenly having this brilliant idea out of nowhere.
Not at all. And get this, Turing wasn't even the first to take that philosophical approach. Way before him, you have Descartes, the mind-body problem guy.
Oh, yeah.
So he was already thinking about a kind of Turing test of his own. He was like, how can we really tell the difference between a very complex automaton and a human being if that automaton can perfectly imitate our language, our reasoning? It's all there in his writings.
Wow. Descartes, too.
Yeah. Philosophy has been engaged with the possibility of artificial beings for centuries. Like, it's a recurring theme,
That puts a whole different perspective on things.
doesn't it? And there's this really striking visual representation of all this. Remember the cover of the second edition of Russell and Norvig's book, Artificial Intelligence, A Modern Approach?
Yeah, I remember that one. It's got all those old-looking gadgets and diagrams and stuff. Right?
Exactly. It's curated, on purpose to show all these historical artifacts, these ideas that led to AI. You've got Turing, of course, but also like Aristotle's stuff on planning. It's from his De Motu Animalium.
Plan.
And then there's Frege's notation for logic, super crucial for computer science itself, which, AI wouldn't exist without that. Oh, and even Ramon Lull's concept wheel from, wait for it, the 13th century.
A concept wheel from the 13th century. Hold on. How is that connected to AI?
Well, this concept wheel was like Lull's attempt to mechanize thought. It was a system to, like, generate ideas, new combinations of concepts.
So he was trying to, what, automate creativity or something?
Yeah, in a way. He was super early, of course, but it's a precursor to how modern AI tackles knowledge representation and problem solving. The methods are different now, but the core idea is there.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
Right. And the point is, these objects on the cutter, they show that core AI concepts, whether it's planning, knowledge representation, even just the idea of computation itself, these have deep philosophical roots.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that.
I mean, Aristotle's already thinking about planning as information processing over 2,000 years ago. He's even got credit for early versions of, like, knowledge organization systems.
Crazy, right? So it's not just that they were thinking about thinking, they were also like making actual systems to represent thought.
Exactly. Lull's wheel, that's a physical thing, right? A tangible embodiment of a computational idea. And let's not forget the link between computer science itself and philosophy. I mean, computer science is the basis for AI, and it came directly out of logic and probability theory.
And both of those fields, I mean, they're basically grounded in philosophy.
Oh, totally. Think about Pascal, his work on probability, right? And his famous wager. It's like philosophical reasoning and math all rolled into one centuries ago.
Yeah, makes sense.
Gleamore talks a lot about those connections, by the way, if you want to dig deeper. But the point is, to really get where AI is today, you've got to appreciate that philosophical history. It's essential.
Okay, so we've got this long philosophical history for AI. But even today, trying to define exactly what artificial intelligence is, it's tough. It's a moving target. Does philosophy come into play here too?
100%. It's like philosophy struggles with defining consciousness, knowledge, reality. And AI researchers, they're always bumping into that same problem of defining their own field. What is artificial intelligence, really?
It's not like everyone agrees on one perfect definition.
Oh, no way. Not even close. In their textbook, the one we mentioned earlier, Russell and Norvig, they actually lay out 4 possible goals for AI research.
4 goals.
Yeah, and these goals, they really reflect these underlying philosophical ideas about what AI should be trying to do.
Interesting. Okay, so what are these 4 goals?
Okay, they break it down based on 2 questions.
Yep.
First, should AI be like trying to copy human abilities? Or should it be aiming for some kind of ideal rationality?
I see. So 2 different approaches right there.
Right. And the second question is, should we focus on what's going on inside the AI, its thought processes, or on its external behavior, what it actually does?
Okay, so that gives us 4 possibilities, right? Like systems that think like humans, systems that think rationally, systems that act like humans, systems that act rationally.
Exactly. And the focus in AI research has kind of shifted over time between these goals. And those shifts often reflect, which philosophical view was kind of in fashion. Like, take the philosopher John Haugeland. He said AI is about creating machines with minds.
Oh, wait, that sounds very much like the thinking like humans goal.
Right on. And Turing, with his Turing test, focusing on whether a machine can behave indistinguishably from a human, he was all about the acting like humans camp. And early on, a lot of people defined AI as just the automation of intelligent behavior, which leans more towards acting rationally, right?
Yeah, I get it. Different ways of framing the whole field.
And Russell and Norvig,
Yeah.
they're big proponents of the acting rationally perspective.
Okay, interesting. So these aren't just technical differences. They're really rooted in philosophical ideas about what intelligence even is.
Yeah. Exactly. Russell, for example, he pretty much equates intelligence with rationality. He says AI is all about designing and building intelligent agents. And these agents, they perceive their environment and then take actions to maximize their chances of hitting their goals, all based on, principles of rationality.
Right. It's like he has this formula for an optimal intelligent agent, doesn't he? Something about a function that maps perceptions to actions.
Yeah, he does. It's like a formal, almost mathematical way of expressing this idea, this philosophical stance, that rationality is the key to intelligence.
Interesting.
The cool thing is that this framework, this philosophical idea, it applies to so many different tasks. You can use it for a chess-playing AI or a question-answering system. The environment and the goals might be totally different, but that core concept of rationality as intelligence, it still applies.
That's pretty neat, actually. So even just defining AI is tied up in all these big philosophical questions about minds, behavior, rationality.
Completely. And that brings us to something really interesting, what we could call philosophical AI. This isn't just philosophy informing AI. It's philosophy being done through AI.
Philosophical AI, what's that?
It's when philosophers don't just talk about AI, they actually do AI research and development to explore and even try to solve philosophical problems directly.
So they're not just thinking about AI, they're actually building AI systems to test out their philosophical ideas.
Exactly. And a perfect example of this is the work of, the late John Pollock with his Oscar project.
Okay. Tell me about Oscar.
So he built Oscar to tackle really complex philosophical problems like stuff in epistemology, reasoning, how to deal with paradoxes and logic.
So not just writing papers about paradoxes, he was coding a system to deal with them.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't just some side project either. He published all about Oscar in major AI journals.
Right.
That shows just how relevant this kind of philosophical work is to AI as a field. It's a perfect example of how the lines between philosophy and AI engineering can get super blurry when philosophers themselves become the AI researchers.
Yeah, that's a real mind bender. Philosophy isn't just sitting on the sidelines, it's getting right in there and creating AI.
Exactly. And Oscar's just one example. There's also all the work on epistemic logic by people like Fagan and his crew. Epistemic logic, it's all about knowledge and belief using these formal systems.
Normal systems. Got it.
And these systems, well, philosophers have made huge contributions to them. And then those systems are directly used in AI, like for designing multi-agent systems where you need things to be secure and reliable, so different AI agents can communicate properly.
So philosophers are literally shaping the way AI systems work, not just thinking about them from afar.
Right. It's like they're using AI as a lab to test out their philosophical ideas, but in this really rigorous, concrete way.
Wow. That's a really cool way to think about it.
Right. And even in parts of AI that seem, just technical, like machine learning, there's still all this philosophy going on under the hood. Think about induction. That's how we learn from data, how we make new concepts, new rules.
Right.
Well, that's a core philosophical issue. AI researchers are constantly wrestling with it. Sometimes it's super explicit, like in inductive logic programming, where AI actually tries to learn logical rules from the data.
So it's like AI is tackling this classic philosophical problem head on.
Exactly. So philosophy isn't just some historical thing for AI. It's an active force within the field right now, leading to new AI systems and techniques.
I'm seeing that now. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about philosophy and AI. What about philosophy of AI? What kind of questions do people explore there?
Okay, so philosophy of AI, it takes a wider view, more critical. It's about examining those basic assumptions in AI, the ethical stuff, the long-term possibilities, and like what might be the limitations of the whole field. It's asking those really big questions about AI itself.
Like that famous strong AI versus weak AI distinction, right?
Exactly. That's a huge debate in the philosophy of AI. Strong AI says, hey, we can create machines that are genuinely conscious, that understand things just like we do, that have all our mental abilities.
Okay.
But weak AI, it's more focused on the practical stuff. Can we build machines that can do intelligent things, specific tasks, really well, maybe even as well as a human, but without necessarily having genuine understanding?
Right, so it's like a computer could pass the Turing test, but maybe it's not really thinking.
Exactly. Weak AI is more about building really useful tools, and strong AI is about creating artificial minds.
Two very different goals.
And that difference has led to some of the most famous thought experiments in the whole philosophy of AI, like Searle's Chinese room argument.
Oh, yeah, the one with the guy in the room with the Chinese symbols, right?
That's the one. It's a powerful challenge to strong AI. Searle says, even if a computer can flawlessly simulate a conversation in Chinese, just by manipulating symbols according to rules, it doesn't understand Chinese. It's just following a program without meaning.
Right. No real comprehension going on.
And that argument, it's still hotly debated today.
Really?
Oh, yeah. AI researchers might say, well, that's philosophy, that's not my problem. But it still raises these fundamental questions about what it means for a machine to understand anything, especially as AI gets more and more advanced.
It's amazing how a thought experiment from, like, decades ago is still so relevant.
It really shows how important philosophy is for digging into the nature of intelligence and understanding. And then there's the Gödelian argument against strong AI, championed by guys like Lucas and Penrose. It uses Gödel's incompleteness theorem from math.
Okay, I'm listening.
So, the argument is that there are things a human mathematician can just, like, intuitively get that no formal system, including a computer program, could ever prove. It suggests a difference between how humans and machines think. Maybe there are things about human intelligence that are just, like, fundamentally beyond computation.
So we're getting into some deep math and logic here.
We are. Penrose argues that human mathematicians have this grasp of mathematical truth that goes beyond what any formal system, like what a computer could run, can ever capture.
So these debates aren't just theoretical. They really get to the heart of what AI can and can't do, potentially.
Exactly. And then we've got philosophers like Hubert Dreyfus. He critiqued early AI research, especially the stuff that was all about symbols and logic.
Symbolic AI.
Right. He said human expertise, our skills, they're not just about manipulating symbols and following rules.
Yeah, that does seem a bit simplistic.
He argued that our skills are often tacit. They're embedded in our bodies, in our interactions with the world, and they depend on context in ways that are just super hard to capture with symbols alone.
So, like, you can't just write down all the rules for riding a bike and expect a computer to suddenly be able to do it.
Exactly. And even though AI has moved away from that purely symbolic approach, Dreyfus's ideas still make us think about the fundamental differences between us and AI.
So it seems like the philosophy of AI is this, like, critical lens that's constantly checking AI's assumptions, exploring the boundaries of what's possible.
That's a great way to put it. And this applies to how we think about the future of AI. People make all kinds of predictions about when we'll have super advanced AI. Those vary wildly. But philosophy can help us analyze what superintelligence even means.
Yeah, especially with all the talk about superintelligence these days.
Right, superintelligence is this idea of AI that's like vastly smarter than humans in every way. It raises huge philosophical questions. People like I.J. Good and Nick Bostrom have been exploring how it might happen and what it would mean for us. Bostrom in particular, he's pretty worried about the potential risks if we can't perfectly align a superintelligence's goals with human values.
That's where the cautionary, even pessimistic philosophical views come in, right? This idea that we might be creating something we can't control.
For sure. And the debate goes even further, like, could even a non-conscious but super capable AI be dangerous just by pursuing its own goals, even if those goals aren't, evil in any way? It forces us to think about ethics, about control, about whether AI goals and human values can really be made to match perfectly.
Big questions.
And the question of AI's future, like whether it will reach human-level intelligence or even go beyond it, isn't just a scientific or engineering problem. It's deeply philosophical. It makes us think about consciousness, rationality, our place in the universe.
Okay, so to wrap it all up, it's super clear that AI and philosophy are way more connected than people think.
Definitely. AI has this surprisingly deep philosophical history, going back centuries. And these fundamental questions about intelligence, what it is, how to define it, those are philosophical questions at their core. And philosophy isn't just watching from the sidelines as AI develops. It's right there in the mix, driving development through things like philosophical AI and being this critical voice through the philosophy of AI.
Yeah, it's way more than just algorithms and code. There's this whole rich intellectual history and ongoing debate that shapes the field in a huge way.
Absolutely. And I'm curious, thinking about all this history, these ongoing debates, what do you think is the most important philosophical question that AI researchers should be wrestling with right now?
Wow, that is a really good
It
question.
really makes you think, doesn't
It does. It really does.
it?
So listeners, next time you hear about some amazing new AI breakthrough, remember, that's just the latest part of a story that started not in some Silicon Valley lab, but in the minds of philosophers who've been thinking about the nature of thought for thousands of years. Go forth and ponder intelligently.